Hey, Nisa.
Hey,
How are you doing?
great. How are you?
Good, good. Day 1020 of the pandemic. I know it's interesting this article that we're going to talk about today about museums going dark because of the pandemic, so they're having to like, make use of more digital resources and crypto art is now on the rise. Super interesting. What do you think about that?
I think that more people are doing these virtual museum tours because they're stuck at home. And I think artists are presenting their work in these online showrooms. And I think it's great because it democratizes access to art. And, whereas let's say collectors, usually just a wealthy group of people, now you can buy digital art with its own non-fungible token, and it's scarce and it doesn't cost you a fortune. So it allows more people to participate in the art world, which is great for artists because artists often feel like they are not reaching a mass audience. And it's also great because art is a macro hedge against, like gold or like Bitcoin, against what is happening in our world right now. So I think this is really interesting, and it's not talked about that much. And so there was this point in the article where they talked about Gemini, which is an exchange, investing in Nifty Gateway, which is a platform for curation and sale of crypto art. And it's really funny because it was like the Winklevi twins buying this or investing in this company with another set of twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. Kind of
But
sure how much that played into their decision to like invest in it.
yeah, you don't think there was some pattern matching there?
Right, exactly.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I think like it talks about how art and collectibles are like this alternative investment, and they're inflation resistant assets, and so that's part of the reason that they invested. And I think they've been like 1 month into operation,
Hmm.
and works have already sold on the secondary market, and they see an increase in value. And so I think that's nice traction. And, um, I don't know. What do you think about it?
One thing I am trying to understand from the article is like it talks about an NFT artist, some art that he sold or created, and he's a pen and ink gone NFT. I'm not quite sure what that means, but okay. So if is this is not regular watercolor, for example, art that's been digitized. This is art created for
I mean, it could be either or, but yeah, when they're talking about digital art, they're not using paintbrushes and ink and pens. They're using code.
well, do you think this type of technology is going to favor already established artists? Like, or do you think it's going to allow newcomers who have never sold anything, but let's say they're really good at creating digital art, but they don't have that fan base yet? Um, do you think it's going to favor them? How are they going to stand out if they don't have necessarily that name recognition?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And so traditional art, you're relying on getting into the galleries to have your work seen, right? Usually, or online in some places. But this democratizes it. It allows these unknown artists to reach an audience,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's great. Um, a lot of artists just die in poverty because their works aren't discovered until
Mm-hmm.
much later. So it actually makes it potentially a career for them. And they're doing things with the medium that they can't do in the physical medium. So I think it's all positive.
I mean, well, there is a very cynical take on it from somebody in the article. I guess, let's see, what's his, I'm trying to find his first name. It just says Rinker, Harry Rinker, who has been known as the Beanie Meanie. He could be called the top of the Beanie Baby bubble. And his quote here says, according to my experience, it takes 30 years to create a viable secondary market. So anyone buying the stuff coming out now has better expect to live for 30 years at least to see how it does. And my guess is that it won't do very well. I wonder if is he talking only about the art world or collectible world? Like, I haven't heard that before, that it takes 30 years to create a viable secondary market. But it's an interesting take, albeit cynical.
Yeah. Well, I think that goes back to a lot of artists don't make it until after they died because it takes that much time to build up a name and for that secondary market to happen. I think this guy is 70 years old, and I'm not a collector. I don't really collect a lot of. I was never really into the Beanie Babies either. However, I don't think that people that collect nowadays, I don't know if they collect things necessarily for the monetary value. They're collecting because they really want to support the art. And if really valuable, interesting art, as you said, becomes more affordable, more accessible, people are going to be buying at these very much lower price points, $30, $50, and they don't need a quick turnaround. Maybe they're just happy to resell it a few years down the road at just twice the markup and not 100%, 1,000% increase. So what do you think about what Rinker, am I saying that right again? About what he said about the secondary market and waiting 30 years? Yeah, I mean, I think that that's true probably for his age or his demographic. I think that is the way it was, but I don't know that he is that in touch with modern or younger collectors and why they're collecting. I don't know. I think we're going to have to see what happens and how this market develops. And I think we'll have some more data maybe in a few years, but right now it's all speculative.
Yeah, it is. Very interesting. Have you done any of those virtual museum tours yet?
Not yet. Maybe I'll do one tonight.
I haven't tried one either, but I don't know, with the whole VR space coming into fruition, it's the perfect time.
Yeah. Well, tell us what you think. Would you invest in digital art? Would you collect? And do you think this market will develop?